This is Bix Weir with RoadToRuta.com with a presentation called Silver 10 Reasons to Buy Lots. If you listen to my latest project, it was a secret hidden silver hoard, 2.75 billion ounces of silver that was used in the Manhattan Project. And then silver became so scarce in the early 1990s that they had to rip that facility apart to take out the 2.75 billion ounces. So that's where all the physical silver has come from for the last 20 years or so. But according to my calculations, they should be running very, very low on that silver. And with the amount of money available to invest, silver could blow the doors any moment. And it's all part of the plan of returning us to a sound monetary system. Anyway, here's 10 reasons why you should buy a whole lot of silver. Number one, the removal of the gigantic concentrated short position on the COMEX Silver market as reported in the CFTC commitment of traders and bank participation reports. Ted Butler has done an amazing amount of research on this and just literally proves silver manipulation almost weekly in his weekly update to his subscribers. The CFTC and the SEC and the Fed and the Treasury are all in on the game. So once that gigantic short is removed from the COMEX, we're going to see silver be allowed to rise to unimaginable heights because of the over 100-year manipulation and suppression of the price of silver. Very exciting to be alive and invested when that happens. Number two, the implementation of COMEX realistic position limits in silver of no more than 1,500 contracts and the enforcement of the Disruptive Trading Practices law. It is so important that banks can't just print money to short the price of silver. It is criminal what they're doing. And very soon, I think that will be changed because the system is unsustainable because of the physical side. Ultimately, they can sell as many electronic contracts as they want, but at the end of the day, people need physical silver, and more people are understanding there's a huge difference between the electronic silver market price that is reported every day and the actual value of physical silver. So people are getting out of the paper contracts and into the real stuff, thank God. Number three, the mass redemption of paper silver currently held by counterparties in silver mining company stocks, pooled silver accounts, and silver certificate programs, and then transferred into physical silver held in the possession of the owner. So important that you don't have anybody between you and your silver, and that includes silver mining stocks. There's 4 or 5 different entities between you and your wealth when you buy a silver mining stock, including the brokerage house and the DTCC and Seed and Company. If you've followed my work, you know everything about that. And these stocks are trading at huge multiples of the actual float of the company. So if you bought a mining share and you think, oh, I'm going to get the excess leverage because they have so much silver in the ground, don't be so short. Don't be sure at all, because when this system falls apart, you can have 10 to 20 people claiming the same ownership as your share because the companies, the brokerage houses, don't buy the share for you and put it in your name anymore. They just put it into the pool, and as long as the music's playing, that's fine. When the music stops, like a banking crash, you're going to lose your silver mining company. So get physical in your own hands, and as soon as everybody starts doing that, of course, the price of silver will go bonkers, and the system will shut down. But you'll have the wealth of physical silver in your own possession, which is key. Number four, the realization by industrial users of silver that the supply of physical silver is rapidly depleting. And with the future of producing their products in jeopardy, they will begin stockpiling physical silver. That is a fact. Every iPhone has silver in it. Can you imagine Apple using their hundreds of billions of dollars to load up on physical silver? Because if they don't have physical silver, the iPhone won't work as well or won't work at all. And that goes for every product that uses physical silver. Real exciting is what's going on in solar energy these days, and they use a lot of physical silver. And if those companies want to stay in business, they're going to need physical silver. Yes, the price of their end product are going to go up, but there's such a small amount of physical silver used in every application that these companies can just load up and secure their future for 20 or 30 years if they want to, because at some point they will not be able to get physical silver at all. So I think once they realize that, the industrial users will really kick in and start buying. Number 5, the realization by the remaining 99.9% of the investing public that does not currently own any physical that silver is extremely undervalued and should be held by all investors interested in portfolio safety and value appreciation. If silver was allowed to trade freely, it would be going crazy, and everybody in the world will know how important it is to hold precious metals in your own portfolio, especially silver, since it has a dual purpose. It's a industrial metal, a vital industrial metal, and it has a monetary side as well. So you get double bang for your buck, and it's been suppressed for the last 100 years. So yeah, you're going to get a little bit of everything when silver's finally released from suppression. Number 6, acknowledgment by the bullion banks and U.S. government that they have been involved in price suppression of silver for over 50 years in order to support and extend the global confidence in unbacked fiat U.S. dollars. That is the key. The Fed and the Treasury, with the computer programs written by Alan Greenspan in the 60s and 70s, were rigging the prices of gold and silver in order to maintain support of the unbacked fiat system. It's the only reason the US dollar has lasted since unbacked since 1971. And it has been the artificial price suppression. And when that is acknowledged and the bullion banks and US government stops that, you're going to see the price of silver go absolutely nuts. 7, the realization by investors that significant increases in the price of silver will not curtail industrial demand, as silver is mostly used in very small amounts in each product produced. That's an elasticity issue. It doesn't matter how high the price of silver goes, because each industrial user uses very small amounts of silver. It will not add all that much to the cost of their end product. For example, if the price of silver goes up to $1,000 an ounce, it won't jack the price of an iPhone all that much. Flat screen TVs will get a little more expensive, because I think it's about an ounce of silver that's used in those. But they should get expensive, because flat screen TVs are ridiculously cheap these days, and silver is a vital component in all these industrial applications, but it's used in such small amounts that it's very price inelastic, meaning that as the price goes up, demand doesn't waver hardly at all. Number 8, the silver to gold price ratio reflects the true physical relationship between above ground gold and above ground silver that is available for sale on a free and open market. This is the monster. This is the kicker, and it's really easy to explain to someone why physical gold and physical silver have a relationship. They're both monetary metals. Historically, it's been 10 or 15 to 1 because of the amount of silver and gold available. Now it stands at 70 to 1, 70 ounces of silver for 1 ounce of gold, and that's 100% because of the computer manipulation. Now, where will it settle out when it's freely traded? Much less than 10 to 1 or 15 to 1, because of one simple thing. All the physical silver in the world that was accumulated over centuries has been used up in the last 60 or 70 years in all the electronic components and industrial uses for silver, and most of it could never be recycled because it's in such small amounts. So you have a huge problem where all the gold has been saved and hoarded in vaults and in the form of jewelry, and all the silver has been used up. So I expect at some point the gold silver ratio will cross at 1. 1 ounce of gold will equal 1 ounce of silver, and most likely it'll be a very, very high dollar amount, maybe $10,000 or $20,000 an ounce, for the simple reason that there's just not very much silver out there, and there's a lot of gold that's been stored up. So yeah, we're looking forward to a reasonable silver to gold price ratio, much lower than historical ratios, because silver has been consumed. Number 9, the U.S. government and the citizens of the United States recognize and acknowledge that Article 1, Section 10 of the U.S. Constitution specifies that only gold and silver coin can be legally used as money. And the Coinage Act of 1792 defined the US dollar as, quote, 371 grains and 4/16 parts of a grain of pure or 416 grains of standard silver. That is the definition of a dollar. The thing we use right now is a Federal Reserve note. Legally, a huge difference between a US dollar and a Federal Reserve note. A Federal Reserve note is an IOU from the Fed. A US dollar is the constitutional money of the United States of America. Once people understand that, which they will when the banks crash and they understand that they lost all their Federal Reserve notes, they're going to be looking to the government and say, well, why don't you just issue real US dollars as per our Constitution? The United States will fare much better than every other country in this economic implosion because we do have a Constitution and we do have a Bill of Rights and laws that were written that will be upheld, and we will be returning to them very shortly, I believe. And number 10, the price of silver has risen so high that it has fulfilled all my hopes and aspirations as an investor, and I can now sit back and enjoy these other pleasures of life that I had put off in pursuit of freeing the silver market from the clutches of manipulation. That's going to be a great moment. That will be a great moment for the world and for all you silver bugs out there that have been fighting this fight alongside me for the last 20 years. Just imagine that moment. That's what we're waiting for, the free trading of silver, no matter where the price ends up. If the price, shakes out at $100 an ounce, $1,000 an ounce, $10,000 an ounce, or $5 an ounce, all of us freedom fighters for silver will be happy as long as it's freely traded. That's all we're asking of our government, is allow markets to freely trade. I have a sneaking suspicion that it'll be closer to the $10,000 an ounce than the $5 an ounce, but we will see. I would love to see and find out who was right in this battle. Anyway, my name is Bix Weir. Sign up at roadtoroota.com for free email updates and get a free book, Silver, Gold, Bitcoin, and God. It's a PDF book that gets sent right to you. And also sign up for this YouTube channel. Lots of people joining and learning about all these secrets behind the curtain at the Fed and the U.S. Treasury. Take care.